Okay, guys, let's get started. And yes, so far we have looked at different functions. We've seen error handling. No, we've seen how to handle errors, the common errors we have in Excel, and finally the exercise. So I strongly recommend that if you have not seen the videos on functions, that you go back to check the playlist and make sure you go through everything. Or if you have not seen the videos on the Excel error, so I strongly recommend that you go back and watch those videos. Or if you have gone through all of this process, I believe you have taken up this challenge already. I made a video previously on it, showing you the data sets and telling you can get the data sets from the Telegram channel, right? So I believe you'll give this a good shot before you see me do it. All right, if you have not, you still have time. You can pause the video right now, take your time, give it a good shot. It's a good way to learn. I always say that. So if you have, then you can join me on this video. But if you still decide you just want to go ahead with me, that's no problem. So let's just do this together. Now, considering the fact that we have quite a number of tables, no, not quite a number of tables. We have just two tables with the exercise. So instead of dragging this way, dragging that way, and all, we'll just keep things on separate tables, right? So we'll keep the exercise here. The tasks that we have, we'll keep them here, while we move our tables into another place. So I'll add a new sheet. I'll call this customers. All right, so that will be our customer table. I'll just move all of this. Let's take that out completely. All right, one thing we can also do as usual, put our data in the table, our data as table. Yeah, just go ahead and remove the styles and everything. Right, the filter as well. Control Shift L. Okay. Just in case you didn't get that, that's Control plus Shift plus L, letter L for line. All right, let's keep that like this. So name these orders. So this will be our orders table. I'll just Control A, Control X. And I'll bring that here. Control V. Let's jump to 200. If that's really too much, all right, that's nice. Okay, Control T. Remove the table design. We still have our table. Remove the filter. And yes, I'll name these orders as well. Orders. Look at my cursor. All right, so name it orders. That's where you can change the table name. So our table now has a name, which is called orders, right? And of course, for the customer, we'll do the same thing. Click on table design again and give this a name. This will be our customer. Customer, yeah, whatever. Okay, so now our table has names, right? This is the customer and this is the orders table, right? So that is the orders table. Quick way, you can check from the name box directly. All right, so I'll move all of this entire task. I'll move it to column A, and of course, nice. So we can see all the exercises. So the first one is simple. It says we should clean up and standardize the customer names and email addresses. So that will be on the customer table. So Control Shift plus full name. Just keep things there. Since we're in a table, Excel will let us use the same name, so we just call this cleaned. And of course, we can do this. Oops. How did I get here? Okay, it's still done. So we'll do this. Control B as usual. We'll give it a nice background, our background, you know the background, right? Here, if you don't know the background, you're just joining for the first time. And the ones we create for the columns we create, we'll give it a slightly darker shade. Right. So we want to clean up this name and standardize them. Standardize will mean we want them in proper case. Clean will mean we want to take out the extra spaces. So let's do that. Multiple sheets. Okay. All right. Then I will say trim. Right. So I want to take out the spaces and I will say proper. Like I said, I strongly recommend you watch the function, the videos on function. We cover textual function, literally every function we'll be using here. Yeah, probably have been covered, so do well to check out the video. Okay, so don't forget this is an array formula. If you are not using a newer version of Excel, you might want to use the Control Shift with Enter. We'll be needing that in some cases. Okay, so all right, because our data is in a table, we'll get the auto fill cleaned, nice, so we can hide this. Let's hide this column. Right, so this is what we have for the clean version. So we need a clean version of the email as well. So we'll add a new column. I'll drag this, say cleaned as well. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. They're all in lowercase, so keep that there. And email addresses, they're meant to be in all lowercase. And yes, they are. So we keep that. There's nothing to do there. There's nothing to do there. It's all clean. Probably that should have been the names only. Right. So it says extract the first name from the full name column. We want to extract the first name from the full name column. So say first name. And we know that if we do a left, right, to extract certain number of characters from the left, we select our text. Then we'll say, for example, if we do a 4, you remember what was going to happen because we don't have all 4 characters for the names. So if I fill this, it just cuts out their name, right? So what do? Since this is the number of characters we want, we can say it should find where we have a space. So where we have a space, so it should extract up to the point where we have a space. But of course, we don't want to include the space. We already trimmed it out. So we'll probably want to put that in account. But for the sake of simplicity, let's see what that looks like first. Enter too many arguments, so let's check what we entered. Left, find, yeah. Then the text. So we are looking for space within this name, right? So we are saying extract from the left, extract text from the beginning of this position up to where we have space, right, in this name. So I'll hit enter, you can see it's all nice. But what's the problem? Let's see. If you do a length, you see that it included the space to it. This is supposed to return 4 characters, but it's going to return 5, right? So you can see that we have an extra space there. And that's true for all the names we just got back. So what do? We do a -1. So -1 means before the space. If we do that, now we have it cleaned. Be sure we filled already, just double sure. Then we'll do a len. Okay, do a len, you get this. Now we are getting 4. I hope you got that. Alright, so we have been able to extract the first name. Yes, as usual, someone's already saying you're not ticking as green. Alright, that's the way. So mark this as green, as done. All right, so I've been able to do this: the first name, last name, standardized. All right, that's a lot of all right, but it's okay. So data enrichment, that's the lookup. Add the customer name to each order using the customer ID. So we're working with the order table now. We want to add the customer name. It would be nice to have it somewhere. Well, in the reality of it, we will not need to do this. Okay, we will not need to do this. We'll probably be establishing a relationship. But since we're just learning formulas, this is to reinforce the practice of formulas, and this is why we're doing it. So customers, customer, no, not that way, customer name. So this will also take our new background, slightly dark, right? So I want to pull in the customer name using this customer ID. So well, we have various formulas we can use, and yes, XLOOKUP is one of the nice formula. But since our column, our customer ID is on the first column, which is the leftmost column of our table here, we can stick with VLOOKUP and it will still do a good job for us. So I'll go ahead with VLOOKUP. Again, I strongly recommend you check out the videos on functions so that you can be able to follow through with this exercise and understand what is going on here. Okay. So VLOOKUP, we pass in our lookup value. So where should we look for this lookup value? So we can just say our customer name, our customer table, right? So we have a table already, because we have to pass in the entire table. Then what do we want to return? We want to return customer. Okay, slow down. Oops, customer. So what is the column index number of what we want to return? That is column, the name, that's column 3, that's C, right? So column 3, and of course we want an exact match, so we'll add false. So I'm saying find this lookup value on the customer table, grab the customer names, and I want the exact match, right? So that is what we have, clean and nice. You can see this is the same customer ID, so I was able to pick it correctly. James Smith, you see, repeated customer, and yes, everything looks clean and nice. On to the next. So go back to exercise again. You can check this table. We've added the names. Let's add the city of each customer to the order table. So do we have cities? Okay, we do. Now you should know the way. So just duplicate this. I'll drag this forward and change this to city. Alright, customer city. So we'll use a VLOOKUP as well. I can just drag this formula forward, and all I will change is I'll move this backwards. Hold on. So my lookup formula, which is this. So I'll say my lookup formula is this. My lookup value, my lookup value is this on the customer table. Which column are we grabbing now? That is column G. So that's 6. 7. Right, 7. Okay, that was an accident. Customer ID. Look for it on the customer table. Grab column 7. All right. So yes, we have the customer cities. Okay. Again, lookup value. Look for it on the customer table. Grab column 7, which is the city's name, and we want the exact match. Right. So next, you can see I'm not taking too long or dragging. Why? I understand that you know all of these things already. And for the final time, I hope I will to recommend again. I recommend you strongly. I strongly recommend. Okay, whatever. I strongly recommend you go through the function videos again. There's a lot to learn. You will learn a lot of things in there. We covered up to errors, so different kind of errors, what could cause them, how to fix them. We did a justice to all of that in previous videos in the same playlist. All right, next one. We want to create a revenue column for each order. Of course, it's the price and quantity. We can call it total sales or revenue, however it is. So I'll take this to 150. 150. Hopefully be able to get a better view of our table. Nice. So, oh, how is this not, how did this not include our color? So the first one, not this. All right, those are original tables. So I'll copy this, format painter. Okay, two will be bold. All right, so here we want our revenue. Okay, revenue shouldn't be at that head, it should be before payment method. So I want to do this. Sales, we'll call it sales in this case. It makes more sense than using the word revenue on this table directly. So that's this multiplied by this. Okay, can put a currency up here. Just use the pound sign, and for this we'll just use comma, and of course, since our values are rounded, we'll not use a decimal. Right. Of course, in more true world data, we'll probably want to account for cents, for kobo, for pence, depending on the currency. All those values are important. So we might want to keep it on 2 decimal places. But since this is a generic data set and they're all in whole numbers, so there's no need to keep that here at all. Alright? Okay, still on track. Now the next thing for us to do is let's check our customer. Let's check our exercises again. So we've created a revenue column. So let me just tag these as sales. So it's important if the business role says revenue, then it's revenue. Okay, we're only able to make all of this modification because it's a synthetic data set. Right? If not, if this were to be given to you at work, right, you stick to the name revenue. So that's I included sales here. So we can know that that's the alternative name for what we're doing. So we want to extract the month, order month from the order date. So we want to extract the order month from the order date. So I'll keep that here. So I'll just do this. Order month. Just keep things close to each other. Right? So order month. Yeah, this is what we just created. So as usual, a slightly darker shade. Okay. So for the other months, we know we have the date function called month that returns the date from us. Yeah. Why are you seeing this? Anyway, we converted the values to dates, so we can just keep it as general, no specific format. We can make this better, right? We can make this better by adding the names, right? If we have a need for that, we'll come back to it. So currently, this is January, this is February, and this is March. So these are the order dates, right? So let's move on to the next order date. Oh, okay. So if this is the format that should be kept, right? Since this is the format should be kept, Just paid attention to that now. E.g., 2024-01. So just do not want to see the month only. So if that is the format it should be kept, then we'll be using a text, not this. So we're using a text. I'll select this. I will say the format should be year, then month. So that should give us the format we want. All right. So come back here. Oh, okay. This is it. We're just about to do this. We have not done this yet. Calculate the customer tenure in months from the date joined to today. So I want to calculate the month difference, right? The difference in months from the day they joined up to today. How many months since the customers joined us? We have two ways to do that. We don't have join date on this table since no table was specified. So we can keep that on the customer table. So we'll go back to the customer table. This is where we have join dates, right? So we'll keep that on the customer table. Now we'll make this the same darker shade. We call it months. So the pound symbol here represents, or what you call the hashtag, represents the number of months since joined. Number of months since they joined. Okay, we keep that way. Let me take this to 150 as usual. 150. All right, we have a slightly better view. So we have the date difference, right? That in capital. It's an hidden formula in Excel, not well documented. All right. So for dated if, we know we take the early date, right? That's the earliest date, the previous one first. Then today, right? Today, because it's from today. And we want the difference in months. We want the months difference. And yes, of course, we know why that is happening. Take it back to general. Click OK. All right. So 39 months since they joined us. 3 months since they joined us. 27 months ago. 30 months ago. 40 months ago. All right. Well, with the question why I don't want to find out the months. Yeah, I mean, it's the tenure. I mean, it could have been in years, could be in days, but we'll follow the instruction. If any clarity is not clear, if we need to know why quickly, there's a better way. Of course, we can suggest or ask questions. Now, next is create a customer segment column. Mark others as high value if the revenue is greater than 200,000, otherwise low. So revenue, which is sales, is greater than 200k. Want to mark as high value, else want to mark as low value. So do that here. I hope I will use this column, this extra column I created. I hope so. Yeah, this one here. So what do we call that? It's a name for it. Customer segments. Okay. Customer segment. So we'll do an if. So if this is greater than 200k, yeah, that's correct. High value, else low value. All right, so we have high value, low, 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 high, low. Right. So for 200K and above, that is high value. So I've created this, successfully created the customer segment. On to the next. Now I want to flag payment category. So we'll create a payment category column online if the payment method is card, otherwise offline. So let's check where we have that. Okay, we don't have it here. Let's check the other stable payment method. Oh, good time to use this. So what is that? Payment category. You can just copy it anyway. So payment category. Well, that's, let me paste there. Scroll a little bit. All right. Okay. So if it's card online, if it's cash offline, so I transfer will also be online. So let me just edit that. Transfer or, okay, not there. If it's card or transfer, that also be an online payment, right? So we'll say if, again, if, then we'll say or, right? Escape, we'll say or. So if or, that means whatever is there is card, okay, that's equal to card, or whatever is there. Okay, hold on. Yeah, card or whatever we have here equals to transfer. So all checks, as long as one condition is true, the output will be true. So if it's cash, if it's card, you get an output. If it's cash, you get an output as well. So then we want to say online. Of course, if it's the last one, we want to say offline. And boom, see, card online, transfer offline, cash as well, offline, cash is offline, and cash again is offline. Now, what other ways can we do this? You know, there are multiple ways, there are different formulas we can use. We can also do if not, which is easy. If not, so we can say if not cash, if what is here is not equals to cash, then we can say online else offline. If, wait, hold on, if it's not cash, yeah, then it's online, else it is offline. That's another way. Another way is to use the not symbol, the way we used to use equal to. So if what is here is not equal to, like this, don't worry if you're finding out to see this, like I said, just look at the formula bar. So if the payment method is not cash, so it's the same thing as what we just did. If it's not cash, right, then you can say online else offline, then just put your else offline. All right, so there are multiple ways to do it. So regardless of however you've done it, as long as your answers tally, so I'll skip that. As long as your answers tally, then you're right. different ways to do it. It's not a one size fit all. It's not a one size fit all. So there come up with different ways to do that. Right. So the next thing, of course, we've been able to flag that. A color, boom. Now the next one is our analysis. So we want to get the total revenue across all orders. That means the sum of sales. Sum of sales. Since we already have the sales, so we can just do a sum. If we did not have it, we'll do a sum product of this too, right? So we can just put sum here. Total revenue. Of course, we take our color, format painter, add it here. So take this value, add this here, but remove the bold. So our formula will be sum sales. All right, sum of sales. You know what this is already. Okay, so that is all we have. Of course, I will include the symbol here so we know which currency that is. So we have the total revenue. Now we've answered that question. The next one is revenue by category. So I will just copy this as a long text, so we'll probably wrap it. I'll drag that down. Ctrl A, Ctrl V, enter. So I'll wrap it, I'll wrap the text, alright, something like that. Of course, we take that out. So when we get the total revenue by category, that means if category is either electronics, fashion, oh my bad, okay, it's for individual category, so I don't need to put this. We want for all the categories. So total revenue by category. Alright, so I can just expand that. Instead, I'll take out the wrap. Next. So for that, then I can extend it as well. No, I'll take this out. Let's centralize that. Okay. Now we might want to bother. What do you think? Of course, a white border, so it doesn't show. We don't want the black thing. White. Oh, okay. So we missed. Oh, I see. They start from the end as usual. I guess because we are working with this, that's fine. So let's give it on all border. All borders. Okay, so we have the slight division. Now, category. How do we get the list of all the categories here? If you're not using the 365 or a newer version of Excel, you might not have the unique formula. So what you can do is copy, paste, right? Then you go to your data, you go to remove duplicates, it says continue with selection, remove duplicates. You do okay. So now these are the three categories that we have. These are the only three categories that we have. If you have 365, you use the 365, and you have a newer version of Excel, you can use the keyword unique. Of course, it will be an array column. To be an array. So, of course, and this is what we have. It's able to extract the values for us. Either way, As long as they have the same thing, we're good. So I want this style applied to the three of them this time. Okay, then we leave this white. It's just a way to separate things. So I want to do a sum of products, right? Total revenue by category. So sum, if, that's if. Then I'll say, what's our range? This is our range. And this is our criteria. So what do I want to add up? The revenue. So that's what I get. Just give that a nice separator. Click on the decimal, click on OK, and fill it down. So for accessories, this is the only purchase in accessories, right? So it was able to do that. For fashion, we had 2 sales in fashion, that's 90k plus 60k, which is 170. And yes, this is the rest for electronics. All right, nice. I've been able to answer that question as well. The next one is identify the top customer by total spend. Top customer by total spend. So come here again, and I will keep the structure, or we'll probably want to use the structure. Or it can just be by the sides. I just want to view that's visible, so let's put that here. Left. Oh, okay. Now centralized. Now, what I want is the exercise again quickly. Identify top customer by total spend. Okay. I think we can just drag that into this place. Or what should we do? We might need a 3-column. Let's get this answer first. The first thing we want is the customers, and we have the customer name. So I'll use the same unique to grab all the customer names, or the IDs in this case. There'll be this, right? So I've been able to grab all the customer ID. Of course, ignore this, just using the formula we had before. So I've been able to grab all the customers that we have. You want the format to go all the way down. Apply there. Now what we want is total sales by customer, total spend. That means how much they spent entirely. So that's sum if. That means for this customer, add up everything they spent. That's what we're saying. So sum if was the range. Where do I have the customers? So this is the range. That means where can it find the customer ID? So it can check for the customer IDs for us. And I'm passing the customer ID. And what do I want to add up? How much they spent so far. Okay. We need a column. We need a column up here. A row, I mean. Shift cells down. Alright. So this should be customers. We're supposed to do that for that as well. Customers. And total spend. Total spend. So take this out from board. Ctrl B, Ctrl I instead. Okay, nice. Okay, so this is what we have. This is more descriptive, looking nicer. So something like that will be useful here. So let's do the same thing. Insert, shift cells down, Control C, Control V. In this case, this is category, and total revenue. Right. All right, nicely looking. So this is what we have. This should be left aligned. Just keep it this way. All right. This is what we have. Now what we need to do for the first customer, as usual, all we have to do is fill it down, and we get the values for them. Nice. Yeah, it is. Is it not? It is nice. Okay, so the next thing, I've been able to answer top customer by total spend, right? So one thing we can do is probably sort, because this guy is the top customer, topmost, followed by this. So best thing to do in this case will be, let's take this, apply. Okay, so we expanded that. Expand this as well. Then we can rank them. Rank. Okay, what should have done is apply the styles, not duplicate the column. Okay, nice. So we want to rank the customer. Rank equivalent. So the first person, based on this, so I'll lock this because this is not in a table. Do I want any specific order? I don't. I want it to be the way it is. So that's the second. All right. So this is the first customer, the top customer, followed by this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Right. So I'm going to build a summarized table. And you can see how nice everything is coming together. Right. Of course, you can use the pivot table to do some of these things, right? We're learning formulas, and one thing about formulas is that it gives you more control compared to pivot tables. It gives you more control. So the next question, we have been able to identify customer by total spend. Count the number of orders per month. Okay, number of orders per month. Let me just add a new column, and so that we'll separate that. Shift cells down. And here I want to clear out the format. I'll just take that out, clear formats. All right, so that's nicely separated. Okay, so the next thing is months again. Orders per month. Orders per month. So we have certain months. So we need the months here first. Since that's just two columns, we can copy something like this and paste here. Move this. Orders, order month. So we have the other month. Number of orders. Number of, okay, that's all right. Something is weird. Okay, that's not the correct spelling. All right. So number of orders. So orders by month. Okay. So I want to get the order states as usual using our unique. If you don't have unique, just highlight the entire value. In this case, which is all the dates. And once you highlight the value, you you remove duplicates, so you get the values we have. So here we want a count if, so take out this formula, right? So let me delete everything we have here. So we want a count if, so we'll do a count if. Yeah, I've been thinking we can move this into another sheet, so we'll call this summaries. Summary. Okay, so I'll take out all of this. Bring it here. So let's just put it in the second column. Take this to 150. All right. Expand them. Okay, so it's nicer having it here instead of having that table clustered up. Yeah, you also get comfortable with cross-sheet analysis. Because most times I've been getting answers from a single sheet, although we did something cross-sheet when we're using the lookup function. So it's good to get used to it. So let's do a count if. I'm saying count was my range. That will be our orders table. Was the column. You see how nice it is to have the name. So I can just say the order month. So count. Oh, okay, I have to close the square bracket. And what's my range? What's my criteria? This is my criteria. So count the number of times this date appeared. So if it appeared multiple times, that would be the total number of orders made in that day. So we have 2 for the first one. We'll fill it down. We have 2, 2, 3. So we can verify. So correct. So 1, 2 appeared twice. 1, 2 appeared twice. 1, 2, 3 appeared 3 times. That is correct. So our summary is right. Our formula is working. Next, so we can take this out. It's now marked as done. Identify repeat customers who have more than one order. Okay. We'll probably want to do that on this table. So let's add some tables, some columns as usual. I've not used the other ID so far, so I can hide that. Hide. What else have we not used? We've not used the product name, so I can hide that. When we have a need for them, we'll bring them up again. We're not using this tool. Customer city, that's strange. Okay. What did we do? This is the number of months since they joined. Right? Okay, so what went wrong? So we had to trace that. Let's check out exercises. We want the city. We have the number of orders, number of months since joined, right? That's on the customer table. So here should be customer city. And that should be from, okay, we picked the wrong column. That was included. You can see when we inserted a new column, it did not update for us because we used the number. So XLOOKUP would have done a better job here for us. Just in case you didn't get that, city was on column G before, which is 7. So when we inserted this, it shifted to column 8. But of course, formula does not automatically update because we passed in an hard-coded number. And that is why we have that challenge. So, but if we had used an XLOOKUP, we would have selected the column name itself, and regardless of how many tables we had between them, it would have done a good job. So I can hide them. No, we're not really using them. Okay. Let's continue. Identify the customers who have bought more than once. So we have to check the orders table for that. What is it called? Is there anything? Repeat customers. Two ways we can, I think it has been simplified for us. We can just start to the column repeat customers and then do a yes or no. Yes or no. If we did not have the column title, we could have just created customer status one time or repeat. So, but since we already have it as repeat, as long as they bought more than once, that means they came back. What do we had that somewhere around here to make more sense? So we can see and maybe tie it to the customer segment. So yes, I'm gonna do that. Do this. Control Shift. I'll drag this. So it takes the style and all. Repeats customer. Repeats customer. So we do an if. Now we have to count the number of times they placed an order, right? That's how we know. So do a count if. Do not forget, you can always break your formula down. Alt Enter before it gets too long. So count if what? Should it be count if or count ifs? Just want to count for individual customer. So count ifs. We want the customer ID. And let's stick with the customer ID. So that will give us the number of times they placed an order. If they appear here multiple times, each time they appear is tied to a transaction, right? It's tied to an order they placed. So do count if, and I'll select the first customer, right? It will not be nice to have it here. Thinking of that. Control minus. Why we have them repeated here, right? So I want to know who they are on this column. Yeah, even customer segment would have been nice to have on this table instead of repeating them. Yes, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's copy the formula. But since it's a cross sheet, so might as well just come here and add that to this. Or we can create another sheet entirely. Yeah, I know. But let's just carry on with it. Let's not waste time. I'll hide all of this. Oops, undo. We'll be using the ID, so we can just hide all those details. So we have a clean table. You can see all the tables. Months joins, we will not need that for now. Dates joins, their ID, their email, the city. All right. So we want to do customer segments. Customer segments. And after that, we want a repeat customer. So I'll take out this. Repeat. Values should be unique for now. Okay, customer segment. So I'll do it if sales is greater than 200,000. Okay, so we'll do an if the sales, what do we call that? Order stable. Okay, our table doesn't seem to be updated yet. Our table doesn't seem to be updated, so we'll come to data and refresh all. If order stable. Okay, now we have it. Then sales If whatever is there is greater than 200, 1, 2, 3, then it should be I value, else it should be low value. Okay. Oops. Oh, that should be sum of their sales. Okay. I think it's okay to actually have there, because yeah, I know, right? Like I told you, this is not a React video, right? You see the flow, the thoughts, and everything right there. So if we do some low value, that should be some of this. So that means we will see based on a customer. So this is an high value customer, they are high value because this is some of their sales. But according to the question, remind me, now going out of, so it says mark orders. Okay, we have to mark the orders, not the customer. All right, delete. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so that means identify repeats for customers who have more than one order. So, but we can keep this here instead. Yeah, this can stay here. Okay, so do if, now do a count if for the others. Oops, for the others, we count the customer ID. So COUNTIF okay, I'll take out this. Now why am I taking out? So if the count of the customer ID, of which customer ID, right? Of which customer ID? That's the question. So stick to COUNTIF. So COUNTIF, the range and the criteria is this. So it counts the number of times this customer ID appears on this table. So if that is greater than 1, then that's a repeat customer. Don't worry, we'll go through our formula for clarity. As a repeat customer, else it's a one-time buyer. Or you can just do yes or no. Repeat customer, yes, no. But repeat is a bit, and one time is quite descriptive. Okay, what do we have here? Let's break our formula down first. Alt enter, Alt enter. All right, so we're saying if the count of customer ID here is greater than 1, then that's a repeat customer, else it's a one-time customer. So, and the only people who bought from us twice is these two guys. Let's check. Let's verify. Appeared once, first time, second time for this guy, first time, second time for this guy, first time. And that's correct. So only these two people bought more than us. Oh, bought from us more than once, right? So those are our repeat customer. Okay. No, that's how you think while you're working. Just think on the go and do what's best. Like I said, this is not a React pre-recorded. Okay, let's do this. I don't have it figured out yet, and it's intentional, right? You would have sat, gone through it, you know what to put out there, but you see the flow so that you can see that some of the struggles you have with formulas or with functions are not peculiar to you. Of course, it might be unique in some ways due to various factors, but it's a normal thing, right? So you don't feel, oh, I think I can't know this. This is not for me. That's why I'm not getting it. And all that. No, on the go, we make mistakes. We do all of these things. You just check. You do it again and again. You read the question. Oh, am I doing anything wrong? And if you feel for any reason the question is not clear at all, you can meet with your stakeholders. You meet with your stakeholders. You ask the right questions, and there'll be clarity. That's the way it is. So let's continue. All right. So repeat customers. We have been able to identify them. Finally, the advanced part of it. Now let's get the going started. Going the work, whatever advanced challenges. Oh, intermediate, advanced, because this is assumed to be a beginner's class, so we can call it advanced. Since build customer life value by calculating the total revenue per customer. All right, we'll go to our summary table. We have that already. Okay, this is repeated, right? So I can copy this. Since this is about the customer, so everything on the customer should be here. And just I want this included. All right. So I want it to be customers. Again, the question is customer life value. And that's total revenue by customer. So put that here. Customer life value. No, was not adjusting. Oh, okay, the centralized factor. Okay, nice. So customer life value, customers total revenue. So the only thing that will be different here is, yeah, it's the same. All the customers and the total revenue. Yeah, but here we rank them. Yeah, it's the same thing. Total revenue per customer, that's the same thing. Let me see where it happened first. Total spend. So identify top customers. Yeah, so that's just it. Nothing else to do. As the sum of total revenue by customers. And easy peasy. Just take that out. It's not even advanced. Alright. So it says perform cohort analysis. Yeah, this might be a bit of yeah, you can have the oof moment now. Okay. So group customers by join dates and compare with other months. Okay, on our summary table, since we have something that has to do with other dates, other months, stuff like that. So I want to do that here. So what do we call it? Cohort analysis. Okay. So let's just copy this first. Let's copy this. Let's copy this table. I need it. I'll just keep it on the same level. I'll call that cohort analysis. So what we want to see here is control. Oops, I copied that again. Control C, escape. Oops, escape. Summary. All right. So let's go back to the question. Let's understand what we want to do. So we want to group customers by join month and compare with other month. Compare with other month. Okay. Yeah, compare with the other month. So what we want to do is We want to group, for example, if you have 5 customers who joined in January, we want to group them and see the total amount they spent every month. For every month that there was an order, I want to see how much they spent. Now, this does not just tell us when they placed order, it also tells us if those certain customers came back to buy from us. Does that make sense? All right, pause a moment and think about it. Okay, now let's see the answer. The results might help you understand it better. So the first thing, we want to get all the dates joined. We want to get the dates joined. And since the date join is unique, that should be somewhere here. Okay, see there. So dates join, I'll just copy all of that. I'm not sure if it's unique, but I'll paste it here first. I want to apply these styles. So I'll just click on format paint and apply that. No, good. I want to be sure this is unique, right? It must be unique because we can have more customers who joined on the same day, right? So we'll go to data, remove duplicates, continue current selection. Why am I continuing current selection? Because I don't want to expand. I want to remove the repeated values on this column only, not a record duplicate, just for a column. We should not find any anyway. Right, no duplicates found because we don't have anyone repeated. Now the next thing we want to have is, okay, we want to apply this style, this as well. Oops, copy the value for me, change that to general, to date, I mean short date, keep that on short dates, good. So now we will need, this should be a long table, so we want all the months where another was placed, all the unique months where another was placed, and we have that on our month order table. So I'll copy this and paste here. Okay, that will be our column, but I'll paste in a very special way. So that's Control Alternate with V. I'll click on values first of all, and I'll click on transpose second. So I'll click on OK. So you can see it's pasted it this way for me. And now I need to remove duplicate data, duplicate, continue current selection can be applied in a single cell range. Okay, that's the vertical. I shouldn't have transposed yet. Can I still paste? Control V. Control V. I have to copy that again. So sometimes when you copy and you perform another action, it discards whatever it has copied in the clipboard. So I'm just, why am I seeing values? Okay, that was based on the formula. So I'll paste as values instead. So Control C again. Okay, I can just remove duplicate first. Data, remove duplicates, continue with current selection, remove duplicates, so find period. Found 3. So, oh, it excluded this. Strange, not strange. Control C, then I'll paste again, Control V. Of course, there are values already, so I just want to transpose. When I transpose, it turns row into column. That's all I'm doing. And boom, this is what we have. So I can delete this now, and I can apply this. So I'll drag this. All right, up to this point, then apply this as well. Up to this point, or you should take this. You should take this. Yeah, you should take this format. Okay. Do that again. Format. Oops. Okay. So done. No, that's not what I want to copy. Nah, I know. Okay, let's just do that again. Format painter. Apply. Right. So I'll italicize them. Control high. So these are the other months. Okay. These are the other months. These are the join dates. Other months, join date. Do not forget. There's no way I can get directly from here. So what I want to do is a sum ifs. Sum ifs, right? Now follow me, stay with me. So sum ifs, what do I want to add up first? I want to add up the sales. Okay. When do I want to add up the sales? I want to add up the sales if the was it again? Join date. Do I have a join date here? Okay, I'll just go back to my table. So that's what we want to add up. So we want to add up. The next thing is the criteria range. So the criteria range is the join dates of each customer whenever it is equal to this. Okay, I can just take out this since I'm in this sheet. I'm going to reference it. And also the let me just use the table orders. That should be order date, right? Order date based on each date. Escape based on each date or escape. So that should be here. So I'll select this date. And again, I'll remove this. And then I'll close my formula. So the formula is a long one on a straight line, but it's a very simple thing. So I'm saying add up all the orders if for all the orders that happened based on the join date and all the orders that happen based on the other month. Okay. Okay, while we're getting this, some ifs, some this, what did I miss? Very simple. Like I said, that's why I strongly recommended that you should have taken the video on the functions and the errors and all of that, right? Okay, so if we look at, hold on, first of all, what's the error, right? What is the error? The error says, oh, the value used in that formula is of the wrong data type. Where do we have a wrong data type? Can you remember? There's only one place where we have a wrong data type, and that is this up here. Why? This is an actual date, but this is a text. You remember? So let's go back to our date and check. You can see it is a text. All right, so in that case, we'll be using this date and not that date. So we use this date, Control C, and just paste down here, Control V, remove duplicates. Other dates based on the other months. Then let me delete that. Okay, so since we want to get the, of course, data unique, so that means we must find a way to ignore the days, right? We must find a way to ignore the days, and we don't want to use this. So our best shot in this case is probably to use another formula we have not used before, and that will be day. That will be date. So we can say date, and we're passing. So we want to grab the year. We want to grab the year from the orders table, the order date. Okay, close the bracket first. We'll also want to grab the month. So I'll copy this so that I don't have mismatched date type. Month. Finally, I want to grab the day. So I'll just put the first day. Why? So that I can ignore the day. We don't care about the day. Okay. No, I don't want that to spill. So I want it across. That's okay. I'll take out what I have here first. So it spilled over. Then I'll change this to short date. Short date. Okay. All right. Okay. Now you can see that this is what we have. So we can now remove duplicates from here. So we can now remove duplicate from here. Data. Remove duplicates. Continue current selection. Okay. So let's copy that. Control C. Control V. Undo. I want to paste as value instead. As values. Control V. Make it a date. It's a date now. I want to remove duplicates. That's a mistake. Column M. Duplicates done. So this is what we have. Control Alt V. And then we transpose that. Put that this way. Take out this. Alright. Apply our style again. Okay, nice. Well, let's just do it a better way. Let's take this out. Let's see how best we can do that. So it's good if we have so we have other dates here, other months. So we have other months in this format. So we can also have that should be other joined month in the same format, right? This format. So combine text VLOOKUP. So what we're saying that we want to look up the dates joined for individual customers, right? So it should convert whatever it finds into something like this. So that's how we're having the text. So let me take out the text as the one after the other. This on the customer table. That should be column 6 if I'm not wrong. Then want false. Okay, that's correct. Let's change this to a date. Okay, so this is the join month. Now I want to convert this thing to something like this. So we'll do text, open a bracket. Then we'll say the format should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Alright. Okay. Now that we have both of them this way and this way, we can now grab the join date, right? So which I believe is the same as what we have here, but I want the unique ones. So I want it in that format. So I'll say unique. Of course, if you don't have the unique, you can just copy it and remove duplicates. So where's it again? unique join month, right? Take that out. So this is join month and is unique, right? So the same thing I want across here. So I'll do a transpose. Do not forget Ctrl Alt V can do the job for you. Unique. That should be on our order date. So now grab this, escape, so we can correct the error. That's because we need two brackets. Okay, so that's correct as what we typed earlier. So if you do not have that, Ctrl C, do not forget, we paste here, Ctrl V, but because we have formula in there, Ctrl alternate V. Okay, then you come to your search bar, the magic wand, remember, remove duplicates, continue with selection, remove duplicates, click on OK. So we have exactly the same thing. So that's how you do it in case you have an earlier version of Excel. So now that we have both of them, we can now proceed to write our formula, right? And that will be our sum ifs. So we have them in the same format. So we'll do a sum ifs. Okay. So sum ifs, that should be our sales. Doesn't need to go there. That'll be orders. Then the sales. Okay. So we're adding up our sales. If the join month, or the orders table first, join month is the same as what we have here, and the join date, or the other month, again is the same as that what we have here. Oops, I omitted the comma. So with this, we should get our answer. And yes, that's what we have. I know because the cell is formatted as dates. So let's go back, put it on general, and this is what we have. So if we drag this, I will drag down. Now we're getting zeros all through. Why? We have to check our formula, and this is where the knowledge, or the precise knowledge, not just the knowledge, the precise knowledge of cell reference comes in handy, right? If you missed out the video on cell reference, do well to check it out again. So for cell reference, since I'll be dragging this down, I don't want this column to change when I drag this way, right? So I will lock the column. So that when I drag down, it changes the date, and that works fine. But if I drag this way, the column should remain. So when I'm dragging down on any of the columns, the row still changes, the column remains. Now for this, I want the columns to change, but I don't want the rows to change. I don't want them to start coming down. Let me explain what I'm saying. Now if I click on any of this formula, you can see what happened. They followed, right? The column shifted here, the row shifted. So we don't want that behavior. So I'll lock the column here, and I'll lock the row here. Alright, it's a piece. So if I drag this way, still all zero. I drag this way, change. So you see, it still gives us this 5,000, 500,000. This is correct. Let's see. Okay, our orders changed as well. Look at this formula. And how are you debug? It's just easy. You know something is wrong, check your formula again. So this changed to payment method. So let's find out why. So it was on sales before. So it was sales, other months, join month and other months. So but when we dragged, see, it kept changing to something else, and that is not normal. Okay, so I'll do this column. Okay, so drag this way. That is not supposed to change. So we check the ones that are wrong again. This is wrong. The customer table, right? We notice that changed. Before it was sales. See, other sales. But now it's customer segments, other dates, other products. And that means as we move, Excel moves with us, right? Customer segments, you see, moved away from sales. So how do we lock? Now this is a new thing I mentioned before. How do you lock this table, right? Want to lock this column in Excel? How do we lock it? And unlike our what's it called, the normal range, or like our data range, this is a table F4, right? See, we're trying F4, it's not gonna work. So what do we do? How do we lock columns in a table? This is probably a concept that you've tried before, you had issues with, and you don't know how. So it's simple, you just have to specify the column as a range. So column, now copy this, then paste here, do this again, copy this, do this, paste here, right? So that's next. So we're saying from month to month, that's fixed, and from year to year, don't worry, we'll break the formula down so that it's readable. Alright, so let's break the formula down before we drag to be sure everything works. Alt enter, Alt enter, Alt enter. So why this way? This is what we want to add up. These are the two conditions. So check the month order date or the month joined, and be sure add up everyone that is for this particular month. Check the other month as well, the month orders were placed, and add up for this particular one as well. So if we do that, I'll drag this way. Okay, then we'll drag down as well. Good. So that means, now what is going on here? Let's understand that. What is going on here? Let me take out this thing to avoid the spew. That's that button, that blue highlights. You see that blue highlights showing us that is a spew formula, or is an array formula. So just paste as value so I can take that out. Alright. Okay, good. Oh, I think we're missing something here. Okay. The formats. Alright. Okay. Nice. Now, what does this mean? If we had 10 customers who joined in this particular month, that means on this particular day, this is the total amount of what they bought. So it doesn't just show us what they buy only, but it shows us how many times they came back buying from us. So this same set of customers came back again the second month to buy from us, but they didn't buy from us the third month. Now this is something you could have used the pivot table for, but you will not really know what is going on. You might not be able to explain what's going on. Of course you can, but two things. This forces you, right? Forces clarity. You understand what you're actually doing, what is actually going on, because you didn't use pivot table to summarize it. You wrote the formulas yourself. It forces you to think about what you're writing. Now, second thing is, with formulas we have more control. We want to create charts or whatever it is we want to do. We want to create some custom kind of charts and all of that. So it gives us more control over our data, right? So this particular person, let's check the other dates or the other month. So only one person joined, right, on this day, and that's our first customer, right? So one thing we can do is we can add the number of customers. So we can just do that here. So let's add this, insert, no, entire row, just shift cells, right? Okay, let's bring this backwards. Nope. Formats, let's bring it up to this place. Hold on. Okay, nice. So you see number of customers. Why? That helps us see the number of customers who joined on a particular date, right? So that's to help us understand what's going on. So in our case, we don't have two customers who joined on the same date, right? So since we don't have them, all bothers, so we can just do a count if the range first. So the range should be order table, the joined month, then this column here, that's in I12, so I12. All right, two customers, that's not accurate. So two is just telling us the number of times they bought from us. So the best date to use is not this, but this. That is this. All right, now we're getting 0 right because of the date formats, right? The date format is not the same. So what we'll do is, based on the actual dates, let's see. Okay, so we should get 1 all through, right? And that's correct. So we're getting 1 1 1 all through. How do we make this slightly different? So since that is our border color now, so escape, and all borders. All right, so we have that nice border there. So just to simulate that this is correct, we change someone's join date to this. Control C, Control V. So when we come here, you can see it's updated to 2. Just show you short. So take that back to the way it was. So it should be 1 for each customer. 1 for each customer. Alright. So it's possible we can have 2 customers. So what does this analysis tell us? What is this cohort analysis doing for us? It's showing us the total number of customers who joined on this date and the sum of what they bought on the first month of the order. So they came back again the second time to buy, but the third month they didn't buy from us. Yeah, this set of people, customers, they bought from us. They didn't buy from us the second month, they bought from us again. And others are what? One-time buyers, right? They only came once, just the third month, just the third month. And this is accurate if we check, since we only have one customers who joined on each date. You can see here, repeat, one time. Right, so that is correct based on our table. So that is accurate based on our table. So take this value out here. Sure, that got there. So the last question now. Yeah, like I said, I already knew that would take a while. So the last one is identify inactive customers whose last order date was more than 30 days ago. All right. So we want inactive customers on the table, customers table, because it should be based on their last order. We should not have it on the other table. If we have it on the other table, that means we check for every date, but we want only the most recent order. That means the last time they placed an order up to date. If it's more than 30 days, that means they are inactive. So inactive. So we can just call it status. Customer status. Oh, why did it take this color? I did drag. Why didn't it take it? Okay. No, I want a slightly darker shade. So, the first thing is we want to find out the last time they placed an order. This is the latest time this guy placed an order. In terms of months, right? Not on the same day. Oh, this is join month. Sorry. This, yeah. So the first time he placed another was this. The second time he placed another was this. So this and this. So he placed. So we want to work with this date. For this guy, first time, second time. So we want to work with this date only. So based on the last time they placed an order, right? That's what we want to work with. So we'll probably be using something as if max. And the question says, as long as it was more than 30 days ago, then they are inactive. So we'll do if, there will be a max if, right? So this can get us. So what's the max if range? We want it to be the order date. Okay. Based on the order date, highlighted, so I can take this out since I'm on this table. We want to check for the customer ID. Okay. Take this out again. Then check for this customer. Okay. So let's close the formula and take out the if. So see what this returns first. So we can see, of course, if I format that as short date, we can see that whatever we get here will be the latest date they placed an order. So let's check this guy. See, first time we placed an order was right. The second time was this, right? So it was able to pick. The second time was this, and others are just ones. So let's check. So you can see now our max date has been able to pull the latest date they placed an order for us. Nice. Now what we want to do is subtract this day from today, and if that value is greater than 30, then they are inactive. So I'll add our if back. If, open a bracket, if this, so that should be today minus this. So that's today, open, minus the date this is returning. Let's break that down. How do we do that now? Because this is supposed to be a single value. All right. So we want to say if this minus this is greater. So let's wrap that in brackets. We can use the difference though. It's greater than 30. Then inactive. Inactive. Else active. So they'll likely be inactive because considering that date, let's go for our formula first. So we're saying, let's look at the formula bar. If today minus the latest time they placed an order. Don't worry about this long formula. All it's doing is the latest time they placed an order. Don't forget that. So if today minus the latest time they placed an order in days, we're looking at the days difference. If those value, or if that value is greater than 30, that means it's been over 30 days since they placed an order. So that means they are inactive. Else they are what? They are active. But considering that this is 2026, right? This is 2026, see? And this is the other dates are between 2024, right? So what we can do is use, let's say use this last date, the third month. So we can pass in the date value directly instead of today. So we'll pass in date, then year will be 2024, month will be 3rd, then 1st of April, right? So let's see. Now we're saying they are all active, right? Because their latest date is similar. So let's say the 4th month. Let's try the 4th month. Good, this is better. So inactive, inactive. Why are they showing active? Because their last order date was in April, right? The last order date for the first guy was in February. Even though this was in April, it counts in days. So somehow the date, this is April. Let me see, who else is inactive? Okay, she's active. The next person who is inactive is this guy. So let's see, this guy is inactive because the last time he placed the order was also in what? In February. Yeah. So we can see those who are inactive. Assume date was 1st of April. Yeah. You notice that when we used today, of course they will all be inactive. We got inactive also. When we tried, when we used the 1st of March, they were all active. So that we can get the difference of active and inactive, we decided to go with the 1st of April, the same year, 2024. And yes, we have this. Yeah, I know it's a lot. Maybe at some point you struggle with it. It's a normal phase in your learning journey. Doesn't mean you don't know it or you can't get it. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. Remind me, be patient with yourself. Give yourself the space to grow. Put in the work, and gradually you'll see the improvement. It's not a one-time thing. Sometimes the progress we make are insignificant. Most times we want to measure our growth daily, but the way you can measure the daily growth is by being consistent. By consistency, sometimes the fastest you can move is to be consistent. Sometimes you can't just move beyond consistency. You can be faster than consistency. So it's usually a cumulative effect where it compounds your daily efforts, daily habits, what you do day to day compounds, and then in turn eventually sums up that one day you call, oh, success. Now I get it. It's a little here, a little there. You've seen it before, you've heard it before, and everything now sum up to that particular day when you feel like, oh, boom, this is it for me. So yes, your efforts, your daily efforts, the matter. Keep doing it. Okay, come back again, watch the video, practice again. Eventually, you have a good hang of it, and if you stick to the end of the video, a thumbs up for you. Right, and that's another way of showing up, and that's another way of proving your consistency, which is a very nice thing to do. So you can go through the exercise video again, slow it down, pay attention, write. Okay, write things down, read your way, take it slowly. If it's too slow, make it fast. Right, you have all of those options. And yeah, don't want to leave the comments. Maybe you had, oh, you did yours this way, you didn't follow the method there, but you got the answer. So comment the way you did yours. But the most important thing that your answer aligns, and yes, you're right. It's not a one size fits all thing. So we have a good summary here. Oops. And this brings us to the end of functions. Oh, maybe I missed that on the function. There's a particular function I want me to teach. There's a function you use, be it financial function, whatever it is, in your place of work, or you want to have a better hang of it, you want to make a video of it. I mean, just leave a comment. I get enough requests, or maybe for you, who knows, I might just go ahead today. Might just do that. Alright, we've come to the end of the video. What else after this? Yeah, watch out for it. See you.